All right, what is up, guys, and welcome to the second episode of Outdoor Talk. This is podcast number 2. I'm Hunter Collins, and I'm with my co-host here, Jared Tuck.
What's up, guys?
And we also have Elliott Delp with us today.
What's up, fellers?
He's our other good buddy. He's actually my roommate. We all went to high school together, but he's going to be doing this with us from now on. He's kind of in all the stuff we already do. You see him in pretty much all my videos because we're always together.
And he'll be in some of mine too this summer probably. So
yeah, and he actually, if you've checked out our TakeSomeoneFIshing account, he has the Take Someone Hunting, and he pretty much does it. So make sure you go check that out as well on Instagram. But
link in the description.
Yeah, link's always going to be in the description. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Elliott. What do you do? What do you like in life?
What do I do? Do I really need to talk about
Go for it.
Outdoors?
Real quick, what do you do? What do you do? Where are you at in life?
Right now, I'm a
you.
senior at Virginia Tech. I'm currently studying civil engineering. I'm about to graduate. I have a job lined up for when I say bye to my Hokies, I guess.
He's full on adulting at this point.
I'm full on adulting. Other than a house payment and a car payment, I'm pretty much there.
Right.
So
tell him a little bit about what you like to do outdoors. What are your interests? Do you like hunting, fishing? What do you like to do?
So I really like to do about everything. Anything with my friends, basically. So Hunter and Jared, if they're doing it, I'll tag along. But my main focus on the whole outdoor scene is really hunting, shooting. I really like to get involved in building things. So me and Hunter, we built a really big tree stand.
And then we also built a shooting target with Jared. That's on YouTube as well.
Really?
Yeah,
the steel target.
Oh, I forgot about the steel target. Yeah, so I'm really into all that stuff. I really enjoy guns. I really enjoy hunting. It's what I'm really passionate about, really.
So how'd you get into all that? How'd it start?
So I was basically raised to hunt. My grandfather really brought me into the light of hunting and what it was all about, and how it's important to know how to go out and harvest game and use everything that you can use from it. And he really got me into the gun scene too. I mean, it basically stemmed from him. That's where it all started.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
Kind of like what I was saying in the last episode about fishing. My dad really introduced me to fishing. Elliott's kind of the same way. And whenever Elliott says he likes guns, he loves guns. He thinks about guns on a regular basis.
If you think Jared likes fishing, you should see how much Elliott likes guns.
He thinks about guns more than his girlfriend.
No, don't tell her that. Shh.
She won't listen to this anyways. No,
But Hunter and I aren't going to really introduce ourselves in this podcast because we did in the last podcast. So if you're hearing this podcast, or this is the first podcast you've listened to of Outdoor Talk, then be sure to go back to that first episode where we introduce ourselves. But we don't want to be redundant, so.
No, and then like we said, Elliott's going to be on this from now on pretty much, and we've all been buddies since middle school or before. So, we just have a really good relationship, and Jared lives, since thinks he's a big dog, he's going to law school. He's living pretty far away from us, but we still find a way to do this, and we still hang out on the weekends, so it's all good.
Right. We're going to try to do a lot of stuff this summer, so you should expect to see collabs and just a lot of different videos with all of us in it this summer on both of our channels. And then we're trying to talk Elliott into starting a channel, but I don't know if he'll do that or not.
I just plan on mooching off y'all. That's where it's at.
He's just going to be the star of the videos, I guess.
Yeah, he really is the star. He's what makes the videos. But he's told me before he doesn't want anything in life but a gun shop. If he could have a gun shop and live from it, he would retire.
Shop.
That's all.
There you go.
No lures, no big expediting, no shipping. He just wants a local gun shop. That's all he wants in life, right?
Yeah, that's kind of the end goal. Hopefully before I'm 60, but you know.
All right, guys. So we've kind of introduced Elliott now. Let's move on to the next thing. And something that we want to do in every single podcast is just talk about what's happened over the past week for all of us. Any experiences we've had, such as fishing, hunting, shooting, or it could be anything, like finding good deals online. So what have you guys been up to? Like, what have y'all done in the past week?
Oh, you don't want to ask us.
Well,
We've had a big past week, man.
yeah, I'll let Hunter lead on into it since this is y'all's podcast, and I'm just here to observe.
Well, you're
and
here.
talk.
You're on it now. It's our podcast now. But what he's referring to, if you watch any of my YouTube videos, you know I've kind of been hinting at a big hunt, and we never really told what it was. But we ended up going. Elliott and I went with my family, or my dad, then his girlfriend's dad, and some of her family, on pretty much just a big hog hunt in South Carolina. If you know where Myrtle Beach is, it was probably, would you say, about 40 minutes?
Yeah, it was about 40 minutes. As we were coming
right off the highway.
As we were coming into the town, we saw the welcome to Myrtle Beach signs, so we were pretty close.
Yeah, but that's what we've been up to. I mean, that was a huge experience. So it was our
So
first.
y'all were,
Go ahead.
sorry. So y'all were hunting hogs on the sand, is what you're telling me?
Basically, I mean, it was more sand than it was dirt. It got all over the place.
So the real question is did y'all get a hog or not? I mean, what happened?
We wasted some ammo, but we didn't bring no piggies home.
Oh, come on now. Come on.
It was.
Did anybody in your group get a hog?
Oh yeah. So we went down and we had a group of probably
15, I think. 15
yeah,
probably.
15 give or take when people decided they wanted to go home.
Yeah.
We walked out of there. I think we left on Sunday with 12. Was it 12? It was 12 pigs.
Wow.
Yeah. One of the people down there that we went with, he killed 4. He killed 1 the first night, 1 the second night, and 2 the third night. And he killed those 2 with 1 shot. And then another person we went with, my girlfriend's father, he killed 1.
The first night.
Did he kill 1 the first night?
Yeah, and then he missed one.
And
then
then
he killed 2 the second night with 1 bullet as well.
Yeah.
Oh my
And
god.
we've seen that, or we haven't seen it, but it happened twice while we were down there. And my dad's, he's the one that got us in on this hunt, really. My dad and Elliott's girlfriend's dad. But they've been going on this hunt for 6 or 7 years now. And this isn't the first time that somebody's killed a hog, or 2 hogs with 1 bullet. So
Right.
what pretty much happens is, I mean,
They group up.
Yeah.
if you have, especially babies, because they hardly ever kill 2 big ones with 1 bullet. But, I mean, it sounds bad to say babies, but these things are invasive. And, I mean, you can go look it up. Don't quote me on this, but it's like if you kill 9 out of every gathering of hogs you see, you keep the population.
They reproduce quickly.
Right.
They're worse than
every
rabbits.
90 days.
They take over, basically. So,
Yeah, they can have like 10 babies in every 90 days.
I mean, it is fun going out there and hunting them, but it's not like they're just killing things for fun.
No.
And we also
right.
keep all the meat as well. But those little ones will group up even more because they're following their mama around. So they're all really close. The other ones will be in a group, but they won't be lined up. But those little ones tend to get lined up, and that's how we saw several people get
Right.
2 shots or
So-
1 shot, 2 kills.
So is this like the first time y'all went on a hog hunt, or do y'all do this every year? Or I'm just trying to let these people who are listening know. I mean, I know the answer to that, but I'll let you guys explain.
Well, so this is the first year Hunter and I have actually went on the trip. The trip has been going on for
6 or 7 years.
6 or 7 years, and it's fairly consistent with like Hunter's father and my girlfriend's father. They go all the time.
They started it. It was them, and I believe two other people went the first year. It was only like 4 of them, and now they've went and they finally found a place they really like, and they got in good with these people. So usually, what happens if you know anything about hunting, or Jared, you even know this, and you're not into it that much. But if you go and pay for a guided hunt somewhere, it's usually you pay a ton of money, like actual ton of money, and then they have certain stuff set up for you. They accompany you on everything. They drive you to your spot. They drop you off, say if you do this, this, or this, and then what they'll do is they'll come back and pick you up, and they'll take you back, and it's very, very, like strict or like streamlined. Like they have it all set out for you.
Right.
Well, this place was really good because what happened with it is they kind of just talked to the farmers and they got us permission. And since my dad and Elliot's girlfriend's dad and all these people have gotten really good with them, they kind of just let us, if we want to go out and hunt at 1 a.m, we can. Nobody's stopping us.
Right.
We don't have to be guided. So
Yeah,
it was
a lot
really
of
cool.
leisure. They were pretty laid back.
It was really cool in that aspect.
Yeah, it really comes down to the trust they had with us. I mean, they knew we were going to take care of the land. They knew
that's cool.
They knew we weren't going to take our 4-wheelers out and just destroy it. We try to take care of everything we use, and the people that we went through, they were just really great people, and they cared, and it was.
Yeah, they really wanted us to get a hog. Like you could see they were every night they'd ask us if we saw any or told us they'd try to get us on one. Mm-hmm. But we'll let Elliott tell since it's his first time, Jared, but I think you might have heard this already from us personally, but you said, did we get any hogs? And we said no. But we saw some, Jared.
Yeah.
We did see a group of them.
Okay.
What happened, Elliott?
All right, so Hunter and I were sitting there in our little blind, and we were watching this road. All right, and we could see along this road for about. Would you say it was about 100 yards, Hunter?
Yeah, it was about 100 yards.
It was about. We could see about 100 yards down
the road. Was maybe 15 yards wide, and then we could see a little bit in the woods on the side of it. But 15 to 30 yards was the furthest we had wide.
Yeah, we were basically just watching this little. When we say road, we don't mean actual road. It was really just a path that they had cut through
for 4-wheelers.
For 4-wheelers, and it was just a clearing in the forest, and we were sitting there, and it was starting to get dark. It was probably, would you say it was about 7, maybe 7:30?
So it had just got dark. Like it was where your eyes were starting. You know how your eyes start to get adjusted when it starts getting dark. It was just to that point.
Okay.
And Hunter and I were sitting there in this blind, and
sleeping.
Well, we'd taken shifts on the sleeping. We weren't both sleeping. I think we were both awake. I didn't have to wake you up.
No.
And we were sitting there, and all of a sudden, I noticed that there was like 4 big old black dots at the end of this road, and they were just moseying around, and I was like, Hunter, I think there's some pigs out there. And we weren't expecting to see anything.
We really had low. I mean, we weren't.
So is this on the first day?
Yeah, this is on the first
day.
night.
And they told us they wouldn't probably come out till night. They said we don't even usually hunt in the day. So It was like 6:45 to 7:30. It had just got barely dark, and pigs come walking out. So we weren't expecting it at all.
No, no, and we were just. We were watching them. We didn't watch them very long because this is our first time hunting. So really, as soon as we saw them, I elbowed Hunter in the gut, and I was like, "It's go time!" And I pointed my gun out the window. I had my AR-15 set up on a tripod to get probably the best stability you can get out of it without, I guess, really throwing it in a lead sled.
Right.
I mean, I was pretty stable. And Hunter,
mine walked out of sight the way we were sitting in the blind, so I had to turn to a different one last second, and I was using a 308 AR, so I just figured, they say hit them in the head because hogs are tough. I figured I was using a 308 AR. I was like, I'll just hit it. So I just kind of aimed mid-body, tried to aim for heart, but really I was just aiming to hit the pig.
So did you all shoot at the same pig or different ones?
I think we ended up shooting at the same one, probably.
I think we ended up shooting at the same pig.
So how many times did you all shoot?
We shot 6 times.
So when we counted down from 3, all I remember is bang. But undoubtedly, I shot 4 times.
And I shot twice, and it was within like 2 or 3 seconds. Like, we pulled fast.
So was there any sign that you...
when we shot, we heard squealing and there was a lot of dust, but we had just figured we missed because usually when people kill pigs, they drop them. Because they say if you don't if it doesn't drop, you're not going to find it. So we went and looked. It was like 10 o'clock when we got out of the stand. We went and looked, and we found some blood. And then we tracked it one more place and found some more blood. But we were just hunting that little road, so it got very thick. And, I mean, we just couldn't track it through there. But we also found out the next day, Elliott kept saying, we sighted his gun in before we left, didn't we, Elliott?
Yep.
And then when we got down there, he said, I want to shoot my gun. I just feel like it's off. But it was perfectly on 2 days before when we shot it. So he shoots it the day after we missed the pigs. The second day down there, his gun was shooting a foot high. So he obviously missed the pig, and I must have just hit it center mass, and it just didn't kill it.
Yeah. Well,
but we didn't see any more after that. But it was a lot of fun. I would recommend trying something.
So
like
would you
that.
go again? Are you going to go again next year?
Oh,
in a
100%.
In a heartbeat.
We're trying to schedule more. We're trying to, if you want
You want to redeem yourselves.
Yeah, we have a GoFundMe.com/I-wanna-hunt. That's not real, by the way, but we would like to go to Texas and stuff where they're even bigger, they're even more.
Right.
But I mean,
Sounds cool.
It was a great experience, and I would recommend it to anybody. So, what did you do this past week? Did you have any big experience or anything you?
Well,
have
this
going on a
past
hog
week,
hunt?
I went fishing a couple times. The results weren't the best. I didn't catch any fish, so that ends up being a lot of footage of me not catching anything. But besides fishing, I haven't really done anything too exciting. Just sat here at school and studied, I guess, more or less.
But it was still good to get out there, right? Even though you didn't catch anything?
I mean, like we were saying in the first podcast, just being out there fishing, it's so relaxing. It's just a great break, and it takes a lot of stress off of me. But just that chase, like going after a fish, is just what makes it so much fun. And I did have a couple of bites, so that just got my adrenaline going. So it makes you think, like after you go out there and you go fishing, it's not the best time of year to go fishing right now. It's really cold where we're at,
Right.
and the water's cold. The fish are lethargic. They don't want to eat. But, it makes you think, like, what am I doing wrong? How can I get better? And that's what keeps me going is, like, I want to get back out there and figure out how to catch them, figure out how to catch the fish. Like, I want to get on a pattern next time. I want to switch up whatever I need to. But when it comes down to it, the fish aren't always going to bite. Sometimes they just don't eat. So
Right.
It's tough this time of year, especially where we're at. We don't have a large amount of bass around us. We don't have huge fish, but we do have some bass. So the fishing's been tough.
Yeah, I mean, it's always tough this time of year. But since we just went on that big hog hunt and you're not having any luck fishing around here, what do you think? If you could picture, I mean, for you it's probably something fishing. For us it might be something different. But like, what would your dream experience, I guess, outdoors be? Like, if I told you right now I gave you $30,000, what would you go? What would you go do outdoors? Where would you go? Would it be guided? What would you do?
I mean, I wouldn't do anything too special. So, like, I think a common response to this is probably like, oh, like, I want to go down to the Amazon and fish for peacock bass, or, oh, I want to go and fish for GTs in the ocean. But something I would like to do is just, like, go to Canada and fish, like, Lake of the Woods. And specifically, I would want to go on an ice fishing trip because that's not something I'm used to doing. I don't really know much about ice fishing, and I watch these videos on YouTube of these people literally drilling a hole, sitting there for 2 hours, and pulling out these monster fish. I couldn't imagine like how fast my heart would be beating whenever I hook up on a fish through a hole like that, and I'm freezing cold. It just looks like a lot of fun, and I bet it would be a lot of fun to catch like a muskie or a pike through the ice. I think that'd be cool, and I've never been to Canada before. I've actually never been out of the United States. So I think that would just be a great trip overall. Yeah. Of course, it wouldn't be $30,000 or anything. I think it's something I probably could do now. It's just I don't really have the means to do so.
Right. Well, a quick side note. You know, my cousins, the Lelands, you know Brandon, right?
Yeah.
Well, his dad, his whole family's from Maine, and they go up there every few years. And he pretty much grew up ice fishing and everything. And he told me, he said we should really try it.
I bet it would be cool, but, I mean, around here in Virginia where we're at, I mean, some years, not every year, like up north, as most of you all know, like the lakes, they freeze over every single year. So, I mean, there could be some areas in the United States they'll be frozen for 3 or 4 months. And so here in Virginia, we might get a frozen pond for like 2 weeks at most, and that's not even safe ice. So you can't really do any ice fishing in Southwest Virginia.
What about you, Elliot? If I said you could go anywhere or hunt anything, would you stay on this continent? Would you stay in this? Would you go to a different continent? Would you do something guided? What would your dream be if I said you could go one place for X amount of days and you didn't have a budget? What would you do?
Hunter, I've thought about this a lot, believe it or not. And
we all have stuff we want to do.
That's true. That's very true.
I think my number one goal in life is to kill a grizzly bear.
Why? Explain that to us.
Well,
Why? Why do you need to kill a grizzly bear?
Real quick, he's never told us this. Have you ever heard this, Jared?
No.
Okay, this is the first time I've ever heard this. So explain this
That's all he
grizzly.
wants to do. Elliot's whole life, hey. Elliot's whole life will be complete if he kills a grizzly bear.
Yeah, so we've legit never heard this. So explain it to us why you've thought this so many times. But we
Just make
no,
sure.
no. Okay, hold on a minute. Let me.
You better.
right,
put
You
it
can't
out.
use an AR-15 for that one.
Oh, no. Well, I don't know. They make AR-15s and 300 Win Mags, so we might be able to do anything.
all right, explain this to us.
All right. So, I know Hunter. Hunter's told me this one story that his dad told him about this guy that they knew from church that went or won a trip to Alaska, or was it in Canada?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was to Alaska to grizzly and bear hunt, or grizzly bear and moose hunt.
And without getting real deep into this story, the guy told the guy that if he sees a grizzly bear to just
shoot.
He
said don't stop. He legit told the guy, he said, if you see him, just shoot and don't stop.
All right.
Gosh. What kind of gun?
I don't know.
It's
what
probably
he had.
something
It was
crazy.
something big. He didn't have a little gun for
Right.
grizzly hunt.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So, knowing that story, I watched a video one time of this guy hunting a grizzly bear with a blow dart.
A blow dart. I've seen that on YouTube.
I've seen that on YouTube too.
All right.
I've watched that before.
A blow dart.
And it just amazed me. And
Yeah.
I was like, wow, I want to kill if this guy can kill it with a blow dart, surely I can kill a grizzly bear with some gun, right?
Yeah. I mean, you can probably kill one. But
A little more backstory to that story. He was just talking about that guy that went, and the guy told him, if you see one, don't stop shooting. So,
yeah.
long story short, they had been tracking one, and it kind of disappeared from when they were close to it. And then they saw branches moving like out in the distance, about 100 yards, almost coming towards them. And then they said they saw the grizzly bear stand up on its 2 back feet, and it looked around in the air and it was sniffing. And then it said it made direct eye contact with them. And he said the bushes just started moving, heading his way. And he ended up, I don't know, I wasn't there and I don't really remember the story. But he shot like 4 or 6 times or something like that. And only like 2 or 3 of the bullets had went through the skin. The rest of them were caught in they didn't even make it through the grizzly bear's hide.
Wow. Well,
See,
I guess he does have a point.
I just think it's crazy, and I want to experience a grizzly bear hunt. I've never went black bear hunting
yeah, I would like to just see a grizzly bear. That'd be cool.
or scary,
Right.
whatever.
Yeah.
But
True.
That's just one thing I would like to hunt, and I wouldn't care. Well, I'd prefer it to be guided. I don't want to die.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
But that's just one thing I think's really neat, and I would really like to be able to say that, I went, and I would like to go to Alaska to kill a grizzly bear. I think that's one place I really want to go to. I've seen pictures, and my grandparents have been to Alaska, and my girlfriend's family's been to Alaska, and they all tell me how beautiful it is. And I'm really a mountain person, and I'm really an outdoor person. And I would just like to experience the beauty and then be able to go out there and just hunt for like an apex predator. And I just feel like that would be an amazing experience. And I mean, I wouldn't want to go alone. I'd want to take you guys with me. But just so I don't die alone, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you. So, Hunter, what would be your dream trip? Hunting,
do
fishing,
I have to pick
outdoors.
one place?
Yeah, I mean, that's the question.
See, the question with one place is I don't know. See, what I've always wanted to do is I've always wanted to rent a car or, get something like that, or maybe use my own vehicle and just go around. Like, I would want to stop at the Grand Canyon and look at it, stop in Colorado and kill an elk. Like, that's what...
Like, take a tour.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hunting tour.
Stop in Texas and kill some hogs. Then on my way back through Iowa, kill a 48-point whitetail. You know what I mean? That's what I've been talking about that for a while. I even asked Elliott, because we're getting into all this stuff, and I said, if before you started work or one day I was like, let's go on a 3-week trip across the United States, just literally doing everything, and I could pay for it, would you go? And I've just always really had that almost want in my life.
Yeah, that'd be sweet, dude.
Because I could pick one place, and I don't know what I'd do. I think I would definitely go hunting over fishing, because not only can I catch fish around here, I mean, I understand, like you said, going to Lake of Woods would just be an incredible adventure, but I feel like I can almost have that here. It'd just be a lot better, but there's no way I can kill an elk here and it'd be a lot better in Colorado.
Right.
So if I had to pick one trip, I think it would probably be a hunt over a fish.
What's cool about this is, like, we've never really talked about this until we are recording this podcast, so it's not like this is scripted or anything. But what I've noticed is, like I said, ice fishing and Lake of the Woods. I've never been ice fishing. I know nothing about ice fishing. Elliott, he sure doesn't know anything about grizzly bear hunting. And then
that's very true.
And then Hunter's never been to Colorado. So, I mean, what we said, I mean, we don't know anything about, like, what we want to do. We just want to try new things and, like, see what kind of hunting and fishing experiences are out there. So I think that's pretty neat that we all chose something that we like. It's not like I said, I want to go to this specific place and catch a huge bass. I said ice fishing. I don't even have an ice rod. So
so are you?
Yeah.
Does that mean you're open, Jared, for example, to trying a lot of new things? Like, we know you're based on bass fishing, especially me personally. I know river fishing is your favorite by far. I know you just love that.
I would say.
But, no, not I would say. You clearly, like, anytime I talk to you, you tell me how the river's doing. I know you love river fishing.
It's great. Yeah, I mean.
But so what you just said, so would you be up to trying something, like, brand new? Like, go deep sea fishing or ice fishing, like you said. Is that something you're interested in? Or are you just kind of like, I need to try it? Or, like, you seriously interested in, trying new things? Because you don't know till you try it, honestly.
Right. Yeah, I mean, going deep sea fishing, we're not really that close to the coast here. But, like, if I was to go on a trip, yeah, I would definitely be up for it. Like, it would be so new to me because I would basically feel like an idiot out there.
Right.
Because here I am, this little guy from Southwest Virginia who's never even been on a boat that goes fishing out. I don't know anything about saltwater fishing hardly. So I wouldn't know what rod and reel to use. I wouldn't know what baits to use or anything like that. I wouldn't know what fish I had caught. Like, I would just feel like a total amateur. But with that being said, I think just, like, new things in general are pretty fun. I don't know if I would get into it as much as I am into bass fishing, but I think it would be a lot of fun just to go, like, on a trip deep sea fishing or whatever it may be. But I don't know if I get seasick or not. I've never been on a boat that far out.
Yeah, me either, so I couldn't tell you about that. But what do you think, Elliott? Would you, Because you said grizzly bear hunting. You've never said that to anybody in your entire life. That was so random.
I can't get
And
over that.
Yeah, I'm still almost in shock. I mean, I guess it makes sense, but it was just so random. But that goes along with hunting. Would you be up to trying new things? Because you love the outdoors. Regardless, you like fishing. You just don't like it near as much as anything else, like shooting-wise. So
We're trying to get Elliott into fishing now.
Right.
We're going to get him into fishing.
Are you the type of person to be down to, like, if Jared and I were like, Elliott, let's go fish. Like, we're going fishing. You should go with us. More times than not, are you going to be like, yeah, I don't really like fishing, or are you going to go try it if you've never...
Well,
You're
Are you going to ditch us? Are you going to ditch us and say you have plans with your girlfriend when you really don't? Or are you going to actually go?
Yeah, do
Joke's on you. I always have plans with my girlfriend. I have to cancel plans to hang out with y'all. So, I mean, I'm always down to do stuff. So, like, back, I guess it wasn't last summer. Hunter and I didn't hardly get to fish at all last summer. But the summer before that, Hunter and I we went down below old Tad's house a little bit.
Yeah, we did wait. We waited. That's hopefully we'll get a video out of that this summer.
That was fun.
Teacher we used to have in high school owns some land on the creek, and we can wade several miles up the river, and it takes pretty much all day if you fish it slow. So I mean, it's pretty fun.
Yeah,
but Elliott, if you think that's fun though, we need to get you on like a slaunch monster fish that like you won't forget it for the rest of your life. Like, that thing's pulling you in the water. It's so big. Once you have that experience, I don't think that, for me at least, there's nothing that beats it.
Right.
But
I agree with what you're saying because, for example...
It takes that to get you into it.
Right. If you take somebody hunting and they sit in a field and don't see anything at all, they're
It
probably
sucks.
not going to enjoy it. But you take them hunting and they sit there for 3 hours, and then a huge buck walks out, and it's like 28 yards, and they have a bow, and they're not too good, and then they hit it, and then they track it for 2 hours, and then they find it laying there.
The whole experience.
Like, that's incredible. So that's why I feel like if Elliott were to... if we got him on a slaunchy donchy...
Let me break this down for you real quick.
Break it down, kid.
My favorite... I'm going to relate this to hunting. My favorite hunting experience is stalking. All right? I'm not...
Yeah, I mean...
Okay,
I think so, too.
I agree, because you're doing something.
Let me lay it out.
Go
let me
for
lay
it.
it out.
Lay it out.
All right. So I really like to stalk stuff. I don't like to sit.
Right.
Me either.
I'm close to Jared when it comes to being impatient. I'm not up there on his level, but
he is. We talked about that last podcast. You should have heard that.
But I like to be on the move. And if I'm like stalking a deer or whatever it is, I'm having a great time. Like, Jared...
We got the Speaking of that, real quick, not to interrupt, to continue on what he's saying. When we went hog hunting, we sat there for like 8 hours straight every day, except one night, Elliott's girlfriend's dad let us follow him around. We stalked with a thermal. Like, and that was so much more fun than just sitting there.
It was pretty intense.
Yeah, but keep going.
But so like this year, Jared went hunting with Hunter and I during bow season, and we're no professional hunters, but we were stalking deer with a bow. All right.
Oh yeah, that was. I mean, you can do that, but we didn't know what we were doing.
No, but that was probably the most fun I've had.
It was fun.
It was very fun.
And okay, we need to replay this experience. I know we've talked about your hunting trip and we've talked about stuff we want to do, but we need to replay. I know this isn't on the list of things that we're wanting to talk about for this podcast, but we need to replay what happened this fall. Like when we were stalking deer with bows, with compound bows. We were stalking deer, and it was in the middle of a field.
A 60-acre farm.
It was literally just fields, pretty much. I mean, there were some woods there. It's Elliott's grandparents' farmland, but I mean, it was the weirdest thing, but it was so much fun. And we came close to getting something.
They ran them straight to me, and if I'd had a gun, I could have opened up. But they ran like 8 deer to me with a bow, and the deer were running 20 mile an hour, so I just shot, but I wasn't anywhere close.
Right. So basically, basically what we did was we saw these deer way off in the distance. And they were on the top of this hill, and then we were kind of on the top of another hill about, I don't know, what would you say, 200 yards away. But the deer couldn't the deer couldn't see us. So the deer kind of moved away, but we thought we knew where they went. So we had Hunter stay back, and then Elliott and I flanked the deer, like full-on flanked them, like some army move. And and we go crawling up the hill, and sure enough, we flank all the way around. I mean, we flanked way around them. And we see the deer, and there they are. And Elliott couldn't get a shot off, but it was so much fun. And then as soon as we saw the deer taking off, we ran straight at the deer. That way they would go back towards Hunter, and that's exactly what they did. And I was like clapping to be loud to kind of let Hunter know what was going on. And he ended up taking a shot at one behind him, but everything happened so quick that it was thought out well, but then again, it was just kind of thought out on the spot, so we didn't get anything, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I had 20 deer running at me I had like 6 deer running at me like 20 miles an hour, but it was fun.
Well, to get back my correlation here, to go back on topic.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
I just feel like I can't get that kind of adrenaline or experience.
Because you've never experienced it.
Right.
I guess.
Like, okay, if you have never, like Hunter, going back to what Hunter was saying, so at first, when you first start hunting and the thought of killing a deer, you don't know what it's like, you don't know what the whole experience is like, you don't know what it's like tracking a deer, you haven't completed a hunt before, so you don't know what to expect. It's boring at first. But
and
then,
so is fishing at first.
Yeah, exactly. And then once you complete that experience, once you catch that big fish, the next time you go out there and you have to wait for a big fish to bite, all you can think about is that big fish biting. So sitting there and being patient isn't as bad anymore. It's actually fun to do that.
And we also don't really love bait fish.
Right.
So I mean,
that's
you don't really have to
That's all
worry.
I've ever done.
So you don't have to worry about just sitting there. When we artificially fish, it's like you saying you like stalking because you're constantly moving or doing something to get towards the deer. Well, when you're artificial fishing, you're constantly throwing something, you're changing the lure, testing the different types of things, you're constantly tying on stuff. It's so much different thing.
You're constantly thinking, like, you make a cast and you're like, oh, did I cast to the best place I could? Well, at least I am. Like, did I cast to the best place I could? How could I work my bait differently? Am I using the right color? Are there different baits that could be working better? What are the fish doing this time of year? Are they spawning? Are they up in the water column, down in the water column? What kind of structure are they relating to? I mean, there's so much that goes into it. What's the weather like? The moon, the pressure? I mean, everything. But, I mean, it's a complex process. It makes it really fun. Try to figure out what a fish is doing.
Right.
And how to get that fish to bite.
Yes.
So
we're going to try to get Elliott into fishing more this summer. But Elliott and I are also going to try to get Jared more into hunting and shooting because he just got a new rifle not too long ago. So
yeah,
we're going to try to tell him what you got real quick.
Well, I got a 6.5. I got a 6.5 Creedmoor. I know there's a lot of hype about it, but I wanted to get something a little bit different because I've used a 308 all my life pretty much. And I've shot a 30-06 and stuff like that. But I wanted something mostly for deer, but also could shoot like long range for fun when I wanted to. And I didn't want to get a 308, so I decided to go with the 6.5 Creedmoor. And I'm excited to get out and shoot it more. I haven't had a chance to really. It wasn't like a really expensive gun or anything, but it was just something nice for me to have my own rifle and just something that I'll be able to keep for the rest of my life.
Yeah, well,
We're going to be taking it out to about 600, 700 yards when it gets warmer.
Yeah, we're going to talk
Hopefully.
about that on a different podcast once we actually do it because we
We don't know what we're doing when it comes to that either.
No, we're just kind of Kentucky winding it. But we've rambled on pretty long for this podcast. But real quick, upcoming plans or anything Elliott and I have, pretty much all we really have is we're going to, since we went on that trip, we got to clean our guns.
All right, let me cut Hunter off. Our upcoming plans until about next, I guess, November, we're going to be coyote hunting. That's all we're going to be doing.
Coyote hunting.
Yeah.
You're gonna be fishing.
We're gonna
Y'all
try
are gonna be fishing.
spring break soon, but right now we gotta clean our guns, and then we also Saturday we gotta cut up all this hog meat. But what about you, Jared? Do you have anything?
My upcoming plans. I'm going to the Bassmaster Classic.
Oh,
by the time
saucy.
by the time this podcast is up, I'll have already been there. But it's the first time I'll be going to a Bassmaster Classic. I think it'll be really neat. Just a lot of different vendors there and stuff. But that's coming up in about a week or so. And then that's pretty much it for me. My goal, I guess, for this spring and this summer is just to catch like my biggest largemouth ever.
Right.
Because the biggest one I've caught so far is only like 5 pounds, 5.5 pounds. I want to catch just a giant. And so that's my goals, and that's what I have planned up. But that pretty much does it for tonight's podcast. Now that you guys heard what we have to say, we want to hear what you have to say down in the comments section below. Let us know if there was something in particular that you liked or didn't like about this episode. Also, comment down below any topics you would like to see on the next episode. That way we can kind of figure out what we want to do for that episode. And then remember that in the description, we have linked the Take Someone Fishing Facebook group for all of you awesome anglers out there who want to connect with like-minded people across the globe, sell fishing gear, talk to other people, whatever you want to do. It's just everything fishing. Our social media links are also in the description. Be sure to tune in next Sunday for another episode of Outdoor Talk. And as always, take someone outdoors.